Okay.
But my name is Susan Guthrie, and the name of my business is the Wellness Network. I've been in health and wellness the past 25 years, and today I'm going to tell you a little bit more about me, where I came from, and why I work the way I do. So I've been an entrepreneur from a very early age. My dad was definitely a worker bee. He farmed during the day and sold insurance in the evening, and then took a short nap and then worked at a can company an hour away from our house, the night shift. So from like 11 at night to 7 in the morning, he was in Tampa making cans, and then came home, took a little nap, and then went out and farmed. He did the whole thing over and over and over. So he was a single dad, and so my family of the varying degrees of either between 2 and 6 he was responsible for, is how I learned to be an entrepreneur. So this, believe it or not, is one of my first projects. I was 8 years old, and I made pot holders, and this is actually for your coffee cup. I found that whenever I was cleaning up my mom's house a few years ago when she passed, and one of my sisters tried to claim it saying she made it. I'm like, oh, not happening. I remember my little fingers made that. So I would go door to door and find out if the neighbors wanted to purchase my wares, or if I could mow their grass or do any other odd jobs at about 8 years old. At 10, of course, Daddy, that's when he started taking us out on the farm. You know, we had cows and pigs and chickens and a garden, and we always ate well. We never had designer clothes, but you know, we definitely did not go hungry. At 12, I started a babysitting business. I got a 10-speed bike, so I could literally pedal for miles and go make 50 cents an hour babysitting. And then I got a job at a lake place, and we would rent pedal boats and stuff like that. And that was at 14. At 16, I got a real job where they actually took taxes out and stuff. And that was working in a greenhouse, and that's when I kind of fell in love with the whole idea of horticulture, and decided that's what I wanted to be when I grew up. So I went to ABAC down in Tifton, and I worked at a flower shop. And then went on to UGA, worked in botanical greenhouses. So when I graduated, I then started teaching horticulture at Jonesboro High, then Riverdale High, and loved teaching at Jonesboro High. Plan B. The only thing I'd ever known was being a florist. And so I opened my own flower shop, and it was just about 26 years old. So I taught during the day and had a manager of my shop, and about 3:30 until midnight, I did my flower business. And then at 29, I retired from teaching, started my family, and had the flower business down there for about 6 more years. Moved to Cobb County, and that's what I have now. Yeah. So I've been a semi-retired florist altogether about 40 years. I only do flowers now for volunteer, or if it's a wedding for blood related. So anyway, that's my husband of 41 years, my son, daughter-in-law, 3 grandkids. So yeah, I'm a mom, grandma, wife, in that order. UGA fan, breast cancer thriver, and entrepreneur. So a little bit about Nelo life. You know, and I will tell you, I'm 65 years old. When I was diagnosed with a big C, gosh, it's been 3 years ago. You know, I really considered just retiring and not doing anything, because it's a lot of work to maintain the protocol that I do. But I learned about this company called Nelo Life, and I said, oh, this is right up my alley, because it's got cutting edge, amazing nutritional products set up to 60% off, and I need to be on a budget. But also we have other benefits that you get from a membership. So it's kind of like a Costco membership, but higher scale. So with this $9.95 a month, you can save up to 60% off of nutritional supplements, hair care, skin care, even things like Lululemon. So anybody Lululemon fans, I can put you up. We have a great Mother's Day sale, but I want you to look at the prices that are on here. This is if you just go to my website. We can sell retail, and these are the retail prices. They're on sale, but for the $9.95, you're going to get about 60%, 20 to 60% off of these, so you can get it even more. So on one item, you're going to save well more than your $10. Stellamar is one of my favorite products. I was taking 3 different bottles to equate the same thing. Telomere support was $100, stem cell support was $80, and ARE was another $60. You put it all together, and I was paying over $200, and we have it all together for $79. The mushroom melts, the cordyceps, lion's mane, these are buy 2 get 1 free through the end of May. Absolutely love these. They taste wonderful, and they help you with your mental clarity and energy. Like tea. Anybody ever heard anybody say they got low T, having hot flashes, having memory loss, having brittle nails and hair, all those things that happen when you hit menopause? Well, most people over 30 years old that are being tested now for testosterone have low T. I didn't start taking it for any of that stuff. This is a natural aromatase inhibitor, and being a breast cancer thriver, you do not want to mess around with having high estrogen. And I'm not taking the stuff that the oncologist suggested. I'm taking seeds, $56. When they sold it in practitioners' offices before, it was almost $200 a bottle. One of my favorites, this is called Black MP. I have my tester today. You're welcome to try some. Makes your water alkaline. Great immune booster. Look at that, $24 instead of $60. We have a GLP-1 human trial coming up. If you know someone that wants to release weight, now I and 250 other people, we're getting our trial for free, but the company has opened it up to 750 more people at their cost, which is basically half the price. So if you're interested, let me know. That's our formulator. These are a few people when it was released in Tampa, we got to go down and meet him. That's details on the trial. Questions? You ask me a question, I may have you an answer. Any questions?